Lisa Briggs from the Briggs Company is here to answer your plant and garden questions. Hi, Lisa. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You can email us a question at tips@channel3000.com. And it's a busy time in the garden. A lot of people have questions for you.
They do.
Let's get right to
it.
Okay. And Gigi will start us off. She says, when is the best time to trim flowering shrubs?
So, Gigi, my rule is that if your flowering shrub blooms before June 1, it's blooming on old wood, so you should prune it right after it's done flowering. If it flowers after that, then it likely blooms on new wood, so you can prune it anytime.
Oh, that's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
That's a good way to think about it. Okay, Kathy had two questions. First, she said, you are appreciated.
That's nice.
Which is
Thank you,
very,
Kathy.
very nice. But she says, when should we remove the stake that is attached to a new Brandywine maple?
Okay, so you should take that stake off right away. It's much too close to the tree trunk to be usable as a stake. They're there so that in transit, they don't break.
Oh, okay.
If you're in a windy place and you want to restake it, then you want two stakes about 18 to 24 inches away to keep it from being blown too much. You do want it to move a little bit though, because that's what triggers caliper growth.
And that's a big tree, a Brandywine maple,
It gets
right?
to be quite big, yes.
Her second question is, when is the best time to plant a cherry blossom tree in this area?
So you can plant any time of the year, well, not of the year, but any time of the season. The trick is when you plant it this time of year, when it gets hot and sometimes dry, often dry, you want to make sure that you keep watering it. So good soak once a week. If it gets above 90 and we're in a sort of a droughty period, maybe twice a week. And then you want to keep that watering up until the ground freezes so the tree has plenty of time to establish.
Yeah, the watering's been a challenge with all this hot weather, keeping everything drenched. Annette would like to know, how far back should she trim her leggy petunias?
You can trim them back quite far, Annette, but one of the things with petunias that we've discovered over the past couple of years is that they need to be fertilized. And there are fertilizers that have a special ingredient that is good for petunias. So pick that up. It's water soluble, really easy to apply.
Oh, that's great.
And that will help with bud production.
We have a question from a familiar face. Can we see Savannah? There you are. Hello.
Okay,
You just walked over with a question. It's always good to take advantage of the opportunity.
Absolutely. I got a lavender plant.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Maybe in mid-May, and I've been watering it, and the leaves are starting to get brown, and the blooms aren't blooming.
So is it in a pot?
Yes.
And does it have a drainage hole?
Yes.
So, and you have it in the house or you have it outside? So lavender come from the Mediterranean, so the soil is really loose. So they do not like to have wet feet.
Okay.
But they do like humidity, which is good for it being outside. If it's starting to dry, don't assume that it needs water. Check the soil first. You want the top to dry out between waterings.
Okay.
And if it might be the heat, so pull it back into a place that's a little shadier until the temperatures get a little less severe.
Good to know. That's what I've been doing.
And then how long before you get to enjoy the aromatherapy of
Well, the leaves are quite fragrant all the time. Some lavenders are ever blooming, some are not. So some, have like the ones in France that they use for perfume and things.
Yeah.
Those bloom all at one time, usually about end of June into July. If it's a perennial one, you can plant it out in the garden if you have a place. Otherwise, if you bring it inside, you're definitely going to want a humidity tray.
Okay, good to know. Thank you so much.
Okay.